Hi, welcome to the channel. If this is your first time here, welcome. For those of you who are returning, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. So, today we're pulling the energy, find out what's going on. And starting out, we have the dance unveiling. That's card number 36. We also have the Ivory Swan Goddess, and that's card number 15. And Weave the Future Golden, and that's card number 44. So starting with the numbers, 36, 3 and 6 is 9. So there's some cycles that are completing. For many of you, these cycles feel like it's a dance, the end of a dance. Certain things are ending. However, it's like it was a good dance. You know, this isn't something to be sad about. It's like I get this energy that many of you have danced into your goddess essence. So I'm feeling divine feminine energy here. There's a balance that's happening where you're, and this balance for many of you is balancing out your divine feminine energy. Not so much where you're taking action on things. You're, for many of you, being led by the divine. That's a part of this dance when you're having a dance partner. So it's like you're being guided, being shown, tapping into your intuition, tapping into your, to balancing out the darker aspects of self, not being afraid of the energy that comes forth from the darker aspects of you. And when I say darker, I'm not talking about like evil or anything like that. This is an energy of things being created in the dark, is how I'm feeling this. The things you're creating in the dark are, for many of you, are sprouting. So it's like you planted a seed, it was in the dark, in the soil, and now it's coming forth, sprouting up. And it's like you can see that not only has it sprouted, but you can see the flowers that are now showing themselves. So what you've planted has good roots, is what I'm feeling here. And it's going to produce great things for you in the future. It's like the present moment, you can see that your works are actually, thank you, are actually, that you've done the work. You planted the seeds. You're allowing the dance of nature to co-create with you. The plant is sprouting. It's also flowering at this time. And for many of you, you know that it's going to be like this giant redwood, the things that you're creating. It started out as like a little baby seed, but baby, with the future, you know that it's like, I don't even, like, strong is not the word, tall is not the word. It's like, it's big. It's giant. It's so much so that not only are you creating for yourself, You're creating for others to like inhabit within this energy, within this timeline, within the things that you're creating. So in the future, you may not even be here, but the seeds that you've planted are making habitat, I'm hearing, for inhabitants, for other inhabitants, whether these be of an animal nature and of a human aspect as well. But there's this energy that many of you are also creating in the astral realm. So it's like the spiritual essence that's coming forth. It's benefiting many on multiple dimensions. That's what I'm hearing. And it is very abundant. Card number 44 here. There's like this abundance that's being created. It's not just about material. It's abundance on multiple levels, multiple dimensions, multiple shapes and forms. Keyword multiple today. Things are being revealed to many of you about the things that you are creating. And there's this energy of you doing it effortlessly. Like with a divine kind of grace to it. For some of you, as you're tapping into these darker aspects, of course it's on a soul level. Well, not even of course, but in this aspect, this is about soul awakenings, soul retrievals. The soul awakening that many of you is having, it's like this is where the dance happens. The cycle is ended for this new cycle to begin, where your soul is at an elevated level. So as many of you are elevating on this level, it's time for you to call back from those pieces, from the cycles that have ended. For some of you, if this is even past lifetimes, retrieving those pieces of you where you had to break apart, leave certain aspects of self in the dark, so that it could be a part of this creation energy. If you think about it, some seeds that you plant, when you plant them in the soil, they break open. And they break open so that it can sprout forward. The thing of it is, with this dance of nature, nothing is wasted. So those experiences that you had, they're not wasted. And those pieces that broke off, even when you plant in the soil, the things that break off from the seed then become nutrients within the soil as they break down. So the pieces of you that were broken, that you've left in different timelines, different shadowy aspects, in the dark somewhere, it's now like it's breaking down and it's becoming the compost that is nurturing you. So this is for many of you to call those pieces back to you, to do the actual work of recognizing where certain aspects were broken. So like, it's not, okay, so what I'm getting is many of you may not even remember certain aspects, certain incidents that have happened. However, in the aspect of doing the work to call back those pieces of you that are broken, this is going to release any grief and balance things out. Some of you have grief that's being held within your heart. This is where there's little fragmented pieces. You're being called to use your intuition to call back those pieces of you, soul retrieval, to retrieve those aspects. And it's like when you're retrieving these, it's being filled with a very finely, a very fine, okay, so if you've ever broken a plate, right, or even a glass, something broken, right, and then you try to glue it back together, some of you have been doing the work to glue yourself back together, to come out of grief from things that have happened, the things that you're aware of. However, whenever you put things together, there's always these very fine little hairline cracks, or even pieces that are missing. So it's like sometimes you can't put things back together exactly as it was. The divine is saying that's fine and dandy. The pieces that are not able to be put together, they're weaving in, or it's going to be woven in with like a very fine golden line. That's why you have the weave in the future golden. It's like as you call back those pieces of you where you were feeling grief, hurt, shame, whatever is out of balance, when you do this work to delicately, ever so delicately put yourself back together, the divine is going to take and weave together very delicate gold fragments to fill in those pieces so that you are whole and that you are complete. So it's like you knew you were valuable before, but when the divine is done and has assisted you in bringing in this vibration of wholeness, it's now like your value has gone up because you're weaved in gold. I heard for some of you, worth your weight in gold. Take that as it resonates. So it's like a very fine balancing act that's happening, but many of you are doing it effortlessly. It hasn't been an easy process, but that's why the divine is reminding you today about calling back those pieces of you. So basically, in a everyday sense of the word, it's like do your best to do the healing, do the inner work, and the parts of you that you feel like you can't heal or that you need assistance with, you do have a spiritual team, you have your ancestors, you have the Most High, and this is where they'll weave in those gifts of gold for you so that your vibration is more balanced out and you're sturdy like a giant redwood. I do want to give you some insights about this grief, and then we have sadness that also came out. So I want to assist you guys into finding out what pieces of you do you need to call back. Where is this sadness? And the sadness I'm getting is being transformed. Card number 5 here. And I know it's for many of you in your heart space, the things that have hurt you. Yeah, it came out sideways. But the things that have hurt you from people, entities, energies that will do anything to win at all costs. The thing of it is that how I'm getting this is that many of you, your energy is that you're stronger than the things that are outside of you. You see how this little deer is here and it can go into this big, beautiful, giant redwood? This redwood is stronger than the things that are outside of you, outside of it. That's your energy for those of you who are resonating with this message. It made you sad. It caused you grief for those that wanted to bend your will, did anything to win at all cost. But many of you are coming into this very delicate essence of knowing that you are definitely stronger than the things that are outside of you. It's your inner strength. It's your inner strength that's you're now balancing out. Tell us about this grief as well, please. And for some of you, you make it look easy. Even though many can't see the work, yeah, again, sideways. Even though many can't see the work that you've done in the shadows, in the dark, to release yourself from certain energies, to release your heart, I'm hearing. Many of you are awakening to this now, to your calling, to the strength, the inner strength that you have within you. And they're upside down. And this is what's allowing this grief to be surpassed, for you to come out of the darker aspects of self, for you to release the sadness. Has it been easy? You made it look easy is what I'm hearing. It's necessary. This is a part of, for many of you, your soul's journey. Thank you. For you to have certain hairballs along the way, but knowing that either way you're still guided. These hairballs, card number 41, were a part of the transformation of your soul. You were always connected to the divine and your ancestors, and they were always directing you, guiding you on this soul awakening. For some of you, multiple soul awakenings. Let's find out. Show us clearly these hairballs so that they're aware of where this soul awakening is happening. Thank you. Again, we have these that came out sideways, and this is the 9 of Pentacles, the 8 of Swords, and the 5 of Wands. The hairball is you guys make decisions to move forward. Once the transformation has happened, you do what you have to do to release yourself mentally and spiritually. So for some of you, that's calling back the pieces of you that felt like it was tied up, left somewhere, chained in the dark somewhere. You find a way to move forward. Chariot style, balancing out your yin and your yang, balancing out the light and the dark. You move away from the conflict and the confusion, and you focus your sights higher. To follow the voice of your soul is what I'm getting. You recognize that everyone does have value, especially you. You have to see the value within yourself and follow that voice of your inner soul. So when you hear the alarm ringing in your soul saying it's time to go, many of you make the decision on a soul level to awaken and move forward. By you following your intuition, following your soul's calling, this is what allows you to effortlessly move forward. A lot of you know when there's too much chaos and confusion around you, and you retreat, like you take time to yourself. And you're willing to take the time to yourself to figure out, like, what's the end result? What is my soul calling me to do at this time? If there's a lot of chaos and confusion around you, it makes it difficult for you to hear your soul's voice. So many of you are willing to take the time to pull away, drive away, I just heard for some of you. But so that you receive the wisdom and the insight from your soul directly. A lot of you take time to retreat so that you can balance out everything that's going on around you. Especially for those of you who are empaths. Okay, turn the right side up. And you pull away to show yourself a little tenderness. I'm hearing that song. I'm not singing it though. You pull away, retreat, so that you can tap into your soul's radiance. The abundance of wisdom that comes from your soul. A lot of you retreat so that you can make the adjustments necessary to stay in true love and compassion. Some don't understand why you retreat, but many of you know that at a soul level, it's necessary for you. Many of you retreat so that you can tap into the miracles of the wisdom that's coming forth before you take action. We have divine masculine energy here and miracles. Let's find out. Show me clearly about this divine masculine energy today. What more does the collective need to know about this electric active power that's showing up for us today? Divine masculine. Okay, thank you. We have the Three of Wands, the Star, the Two of Swords, and the Two of Pentacles. So many of you have been in this energy of attracting, waiting for your ships to come in. It's like you can see that you're on this horizon of abundance coming forth. And so you've been saying to yourself, doing the healing work, keeping the faith, not even necessarily having to see everything that's around you. You've been tapping into your intuition and allowing it to balance you out. This balance and this balancing is happening for many of you, so that now that you've been in this phase of waiting and retreat, you can now take action. For some of you, the actions that are going to be taken are going to feel like or look like, I just heard, miracles to others. Give me more insight on the miracles with ancient wisdom. Thank you. That was easy. Yeah, because some are wondering, after everything you've been through, how do you know what you know? Like, how do you know when to go into retreat? How do you know to call back the pieces of you? How are you still standing after everything that's happened? For many of you, I get, how do you know these ancient secrets that come forward? There were some things that were done in the dark to many of you, for many of you, excuse me, I just heard, because it's not happening to you, it was happening for you. So there were some things that others may have thought were happening to you, but it was happening for you. And as these things happened for you, it was so that you could receive this ancient wisdom and move forward when it was time to take action. So many of you attracted certain wisdom to you. And for many of you, it looked like chaos what you were attracting, hairballs, hiccups, but many of you were willing to take the journey, knowing that you wouldn't be lost as long as you kept love as a part of your GPS. For many of you, your soul needed to go through these hairballs so that you could know just the power of your inner strength and how powerful you are, more so than the things that are outside of you. And I'm hearing it was a hell of a journey. Like literally, some of y'all went through quote unquote hell and back. But all in all, with these hairballs and this journey to hell and back, it created this soul radiance. Many of you on a soul level are so abundant. Like abundant in love, abundant in compassion, because you were found a way to connect with your ancestors. And I'm hearing, for some of you, take it as it resonates. This isn't for everyone. Ancestors of the dark and the light. You see, for those that I'm speaking to, you have this way, a very creative way of using your spirituality. You're able to go through spiritual doors. If you look here with the rainbow and this door right there, can you see that door? You're able to walk, and it's card number 7, spiritual awakenings, spiritual entrances, spiritual thresholds, I just heard. Transformations with the butterfly, dove with the peace. You made peace about being able to access different realms, different worlds, different spiritual gateways that some deny, that some choose not to tap into, and that some don't show a reverence for. They tend to want to use it for their own selfish gain. But many of you, as you came into the remembrance of having this inner strength and this ability to access certain doorways, you effortlessly balanced it out. You effortlessly followed the voice of your soul and made the adjustments to when it was time to move forward, you moved forward. You took the time to reflect and look back, not staying stuck though. There's this energy of like the chariot moving forward, taking the time you need. We have 11 with remembrance, and 38 is also 11, retreat. So 1111 is like a one of those doorways that many of you walk through. For some of you, it's a partnership. Certain doorways that you're going to walk through, it's going to balance things out in your partnerships for many of you. And we have 11 here with 29 again. Checking out the numbers real quick. Some of you are walking through certain doorways where you're able to connect with the earth, but you also have this ability to receive from the ethers. This ability to connect telepathically. This ability to receive downloads. For many of you, this ability to know on multiple levels and dimensions. So it's like your consciousness, your consciousness can be with you here in this earth realm, but it also travels. It journeys out to seek the divine wisdom that you need in whatever dimension, whatever space, whatever planet, whatever timeline. Some of you have this ability, or you're coming into the awareness of this ability. This is a part of your soul awakening. For some of you, this is also a part of you recognizing the creative ability that you have to be able to communicate in different dimensions, different realms, and on different planets. This isn't for everyone, but some of you most definitely have this ability. For some of you, you even communicate with animals. Like, it sounds strange to those who don't have this ability, but many of you know that you literally can communicate with other species, other beings, different timelines, different planets, I just heard. For some of you, you weren't sure about this, so you needed to come into this energy of using discernment, because every thought that you have is not necessarily your thought. Some things that you hear are not necessarily coming from just your mind. You're receiving guidance, you're receiving insight, communication. Some of you are receiving these communications because it's necessary for you, because you're a messenger. There are certain messages that are going to be given to you that you are to relate to others. Remember, not everyone, thank you, that was easy. Not everyone has these gifts, but the gifts are given for a reason. And for many of you that have these gifts, you're given them because you're going to use them. There's been even more gifts I'm getting for many of you that have been transferred. So this transference happens from your ancestors, especially those of you who resonate with being in the shamanic lineage, like you either are one or you're connected to those that have those abilities to travel between the worlds, to be able to communicate with animals, other species, other dimensions, to pass over loved ones. This is a part that's happening for many of you of this soul awakening. As you are embracing these gifts and balancing things out, recognizing them, utilizing them, not being afraid of them, there's also this reminder to share your wealth. The abundance that's being given to you is not just for you. It's for you to impart to others, for you to also assist with others having their soul awakenings. Also, it's a remembrance of those that came before you, that laid the path for you. Don't forget to honor them in whatever way you do that, whether it's saying a prayer. For those of you who resonate with altars, leaving an offering. There's something about remembering them in this season. Some of you have gone through like it's like the death and rebirth cycle. So that's where we started out, and we talked about cycles ending. Give me some closing messages for this, please. Where you, so I get this energy like you've died to the old parts of you. For some of you, take this as it resonates, so that you could be reborn anew. I just saw the image of someone getting baptized, like in literal water. And then, you know, when you rise up, they say you're anew. For others of you, this is you going into the darker aspects, retrieving those pieces of you that were lost in certain timelines and because of certain events, and you're pulling them forward, as we spoke of earlier. But as you pull them forward, any cracks, any crevices, your ancestors are connecting with you, and this is where that transference of wisdom and wealth is coming forward to assist you in being made whole. Any closing messages or insight? Yeah, many of you are able to see through these illusions effortlessly, especially when it came to your emotions. It's like you know how to actually utilize the emotions that you're having. You utilize them to connect with the divine. You don't shun them. You're not afraid of them, but you're not also as easily moved by them. For many of you, you're also not afraid of your emotions. I'm getting for, especially for, I'm getting like the masculine energy where we have the divine masculine here. Instead of doing things to mitigate your emotions, many of you are learning to embrace them and sit with them. So instead of just like take it as it resonates, many of you, when things would come up, instead of just like dealing with it, you would self-medicate, work out, just anything not to focus on it. Instead of doing that, now you're observing the emotions and then allowing them to pass, like not being afraid of them, seeing through the illusion of being afraid of what's coming up, and then processing it. Anything else? And this is creating the balance for many of you. I heard this one first. Okay. Where you're now able to stand your ground, to be born anew, to have this new opportunity. That's that death and rebirth. When you went into the shadowy aspects to face these illusions, to face everything that was happening, you had to stand your ground, knowing that you're still connected to your ancestors. No matter how many wands were coming against you, you knew that you would come out of it unscathed. I'm hearing from many of you. And this unscathed isn't that you didn't get like bumps and bruises. No, you did. You got cracked, you got torn, but it's like all of those cracks, all of the torns, all of the bruises, any of that has healed, and it's been filled in, like weaved with gold. Okay, anything else before we close out? Yeah. And now you can move forward, following the voice of your soul. Balanced, feeling more balanced in heart and mind, feeling victorious. You went through the fire, I heard. Let's have a crystal to close out this reading. Crystal message for this reading, please. Okay. We have the kyanite. This crystal, and this is what it looks like. Kyanite. You see that blue? It's like the throat chakra and the third eye, but then can you see the little fine pieces of gold that's weaved in there? That's how many of you are glowing. On the spiritual, you're like this vibrant light, and you see how it looks like the sky and the ocean, but then it's got this groundedness with the gold that's weaved all through it. That's how many of you are glowing. The kyanite is a very special stone. This is one of those stones that it doesn't retain negative energy. So you know how you have to clean, for those of you who are crystal enthusiasts, you know how you tend to cleanse your crystals. Kyanite is one of those crystals that doesn't necessarily require the cleansing. And it's also known to open up the throat chakra, hence it being all those variants of blue from the throat chakra all the way up to the third eye. When you're working with a kyanite crystal, it opens the throat and encourages self-expression and communication. It also enables that self-expression and communication on the psychic plane. For many of you, as you're having these communications, do you see how it's kind of like the same kind of blues? Kyanite can assist you with strengthening your telepathic communications and your psychic abilities. Okay? So that has been this reading. As many of you are coming into your gifts, you're connecting with these new opportunities, you are tapping into exactly your soul's path, like listening to your soul's voice, using your emotions to benefit you, to speak clearly and express yourself, not being afraid of any of the emotions, and speaking up when you need to speak up on the psychic plane and in this actual physical plane. This is a part of what makes you victorious and being recognized on the psychic plane. Using your intuition. You don't have to see it because many of you, you know it. You hold that sword of truth and you use the other to cut down what's not benefiting you. Again, emotionally stable. Instead of being like this, worrying, stressed out, fearing the thoughts that are coming up, you've healed that, kept the faith, and we had the star come out here as well. Alright, so that's been the reading for today. I want to thank you for joining me, Tonae Star, here with Tonae Star Enterprises. Continue to do the inner work to retrieve back those aspects of your soul that you may not even have remembered that were broken off, because there's assistance here to help you to weave those pieces golden. Okay, I did want to do one thing and give you a little bit of insight about the redwood, the giant redwood. The giant redwood also speaks of majesty. So like there's this majestic energy to many of you that are having this soul awakening. And if you've ever seen a giant redwood, I haven't actually seen one in person, but it is on my list. The size of them is awe-inspiring. It's like when you're standing next to it, you feel like it's something majestic, you know? So for many of you, this is what is coming forth for you, how you're attaining your majestic potential so that you can create your own power in this world and express your true self. And we spoke about that expression of self. It's about like not underestimating yourself. So whenever you see the tree of the giant redwood, it is an important source of medicine. And the inner bark of the redwood is used to treat jaundice. So I get this energy that some of you, if you have any children and they're suffering with any jaundice, that's usually something that happens for babies. The tincture or a tea made from the inner bark of a redwood could assist with that if you're looking for a natural remedy. Remember, collective, divine star seeds, spiritual alchemists, you metaphysical bridge builders, you have so much to offer the world. There's no need to feel inadequate or to lack self-confidence. Okay? Thank you for joining me, Tonae Star, here with Tonae Star Enterprises, where we stand on business. And when you And when you board the Enterprise, you know we go on a voyage to the 5D and beyond. I want to thank you for joining me today. And remember to always, always, always let your light shine bright. Always shoot for the moon, and even if you miss, you are still amongst, where to go? We'll take this one, the stars. Okay? Thank you for joining me.